I call the Washington County Board of Education meeting to order. First of all, I'd like to welcome our student board member, Elizabeth Gray from Daniel Boone. I'll ask Mr. Riddle to lead us in pledge, and please stay standing for the prayer by Mr. Waters.
All right. Ready? Salute the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Our dear Heavenly Father, we come to you today, Lord, and we ask for your knowledge and wisdom through and the direction through this meeting, Lord, that you want us to go. Let your will be done. God, we ask that you'll bless this wonderful county of Washington County and this Tennessee, our state, and our great country. And we love you and praise you in Christ's name, amen.
Okay, I'll turn it over to Mr. Boyd.
Certainly, I get the opportunity to kick off the best part of the meeting. We get to highlight and celebrate and hear from some of our students. And tonight we have Jonesborough Elementary School and Jonesborough Middle School, both the Tigers, and we saw the new Tiger revealed yesterday. So we're going to start out with our K4 group, and Mr. Combs, will you come up and introduce and get out of the way?
That's right. You don't want to see me. Well, we brought a slew of girls tonight. This year, Miss Foyster, our library media specialist, came to me and had an idea to start a Girls Who Code group at Jonesborough Elementary School, and I was all for it, and she has done all the work. I can take absolutely no credit. I went to join the group one day and I got heckled out of the room and reminded that it was Girls Who Code, and I was not allowed to be in there at the time. So they have a good little presentation for you, and I'll turn it over now to Miss Foyster, our library media specialist.
Ladies, come on up. Hello. Thank you to Mr. Boyd and the board members for welcoming us to the meeting. I really appreciate it. My name is Mary Foyster, as Mr. Combs said. I am the library media specialist, also, as he said, at Jonesborough Elementary School, and I am one of the facilitators. This is Meredith Simmerly. She is a second grade, I was voted to speak. She is a second grade teacher at Jonesborough Elementary School, and her sidekick there. And these are some of our Girls Who Code members. We have third and fourth graders here. So they're excited to be here to present tonight. So if you're not familiar with what Girls Who Code is a nonprofit international organization whose aim is to close the gender gap in computer science, and also to change the face or the look of what a computer programmer really is. And we've seen that gap, that large gap, in the last few years. And so we're trying just to introduce that coding, to get that interest and to get that spark there. And so that's what this is about, really. So we have, at Jonesborough Elementary, Girls Who Code members. We have 26 members. And as you can see, they're not all here tonight. And we also have a waiting list. So we just simply do not have the space to support that, but hopefully, before long, maybe we will. And we meet 1 hour after school on Thursdays. Change that. But for now, 1 hour after school is what we can do. So the girls and Miss Simmerly and I have put together a little video for you just to show you what we do, and enjoy.
When you program the character or sprite to do something, and if you didn't tell it to do something, then it won't do it. Like if I told it to move 10 steps, but I didn't tell it to move negative 10 steps, it just keep going forward. So I have to program it to basically do what I want it to do. Like either I want it to move, spin, sense something, control something, or maybe even speak. We use Scratch for our coding and it's block coding. So basically, if you took a move 10 steps block, and let's say you wanted it to happen when the green flag clicked, it will move 10 steps. If you look at the stage over here, it will keep moving. But if then we wanted it to, maybe we wanted it to glide, we can make it glide to a random position after that. And then we could control, and then that will end the script. If you don't have a repeat loop, like forever loop, like this will go on forever. Girls Who Code is where girls help each other and build each other up even if they don't know what they're doing. And I like it because if I need help, somebody will help me and I'm not embarrassed to ask for it. I made a teacher girl to code. She'll change the world because it reminds me to stay positive, and I can do anything. Benefit the world right here, and so I decided to change the color and put it right here so you can still see the code in it right here.
Other stuff about computer science and coding. And I think girls in code can help us get good jobs because usually men get the coding jobs, but now girls can. Miss Foster challenged us to code Mr. Combs sacred hybrid rules every morning, and this is what I came up with.
Raise your hand for permission to speak. Rule 3, raise your hand for permission to leave your seat. Rule 4, make smart choices, show glorious kindness, leadership, courage, invincible grit, and creativity. Rule 5, keep your dear learning community happy. And our diamond rule, keep your eyes on target.
Be brave.
Be creative.
And that's it. And that is us. This group has really challenged Ms. Simmerly and I. The hesitation.
Definitely me. I have no idea what I'm doing. I watch a lot of tutorials most of the time.
The hesitation. That's right.
Do it together.
The hesitation when we first approached Mr. Combs, and of course, he responded with his normal, okay, hey, this is great. When are we going to get started? This is exciting. Have we started yet? In this kind of pushy way. And the hesitation was, what if no one's interested? And what if they do know more than Ms. Simmerly? And they do. They do know. And now, we have a waiting list. So we see great things for this group and for others to join. And thanks for having us.
Thank you.
I wanted to say,
Sure.
you girls are amazing, and I want to know a show of hands, how many of you would like a career in computers later on when you grow up? How many would like?
I think it's really cool.
Wonderful. That's great. Yeah, thank both of you.
Yes.
Appreciate that.
Any questions? Thank you. Thanks for having us. All right, ladies, great job.
Yeah, you leave, I go see the students. So, Mr. McKee, as we transition, I'll call you up, and now we get to hear from two groups from Jonesborough Middle School, I understand. Yes, sir.
Yes, we've got two groups. We have our Beta Club. They're here to talk about their service projects they have this year, and we have Art Club. So I'm going to have the Beta Club come on up. We've got quite a few members. And they have created a PowerPoint that they're going to present tonight that talks about Beta Club, what it's all about, and their service projects. So I have been told that they have a lot to say, so I'm going to start away. And I'm going to turn it over quick.
We are representing Jonesborough Middle School. We will be presenting the Beta Club and the Art Club. My name is Claire Woodson, and I'm the current Beta Club president.
My name is Madison Morton, and I've been a part of Beta Club for 2 years.
My name is Ella Riddle. This is my second year in Beta Club, and I am also in Art Club.
My name is Carolyn Parker, and I've been in Beta Club for 2 years. My name is Madeline Delaney, and I've been in Beta Club 2 years, and I'm the treasurer.
My name is Sky Reed, and I've been in Beta Club for 1 year.
My name is Olivia Garland, and I've been in Beta Club for 2 years.
My name is Addison Gibson, and I've been in Beta Club for 2 years.
My name is Kyler Lewis, and I've been in Beta Club for 1 year.
I'm George Barr, and I've been in Beta Club for 1 year.
My name is Ethan Malone. I've been in Beta Club for 2 years.
My name is Landon Elliott, and I've been in Beta Club for 2 years.
My name is Olivia Ogle, and I've been in Beta Club for 2 years.
My name is David Garland. I've been in Beta Club for 2 years, and I'm in Art Club.
My name is Kara Queen. I've been in Beta Club for 1 year, and I'm also in Art Club.
My name is Will Bradley, and I've been in Beta Club for 2 years.
Beta Club is built on achievement, character, leadership, and service. Jonesborough boasts a national junior Beta Club of just over 100 members. This is the 10th year our Beta Club has been in operation. We have been designated a school of distinction by our national organization. Ms. Hudson, Mrs. Jones, and Mrs. Blevins fearlessly lead all of our endeavors.
Beta Club assembled oatmeal bags, just add water, boxed them up, and decorated the boxes to shine light to the disadvantaged communities served by Kids Against Hunger in Johnson City on September 30th and November 15th.
We were able to pack 6,696 meals in September and 4,320 meals in November. That will be used locally and/or shipped to Haiti, the Dominican Republic, and even Guatemala.
In addition to packing meals, our school hosted a penny award throughout September and donated over $1,800 to Kids Against Hunger.
This is a picture of our November food pack. This one is from the September food pack. And here's a short video.
Very, very short.
This is a picture of the sealers that were used to seal the packages. And this lady was teaching us how to put the oatmeal and the stuff into the bags.
Looking forward for Beta Club. The Beta Club plans to make and sell hearts for Valentine's Day to be delivered to kids.
We also plan to participate in the St. Jude Math-a-thon against this year, collecting pledges to competing special academic word books provided by St. Jude. We hope to donate approximately $1,000.
Students who meet the service hour requirements will be rewarded with the opportunity to attend a field trip to Dollywood at the end of the school year, May 17th. New inductees should earn 15 hours. Existing members will complete 30 service hours.
In the future, Beta Club may start participating in the Junior Beta Club State Convention. This would allow our students to showcase their talents, both academically and creatively. Convention awards Beta students for incorporating college and career readiness skills into various tasks.
So now we've also got an art club that meets every Tuesday, and they're also going to talk about our fine arts night that we had back in December.
Hello, I'm Kira.
I'm Ella.
I'm Ava. And we are our club co-presidents. Our theme for our club this year is Arts of Service. Our club is also open to all grade levels. Our club has about 30 members. We talk about who we are as artists and how we can use our art to help the community. Each month, students choose 2 to 3 teachers to decorate their door or make gifts for us to show our appreciation. We have made books, wreaths, pillows, cards, and door hangings for our staff members. We've also made 30 veteran cards for Walmart to give to our local veterans. Here is a book wreath that we made for our librarian.
On December 6th, our school had Fine Arts Night. The theme was The Arts Lift Us. Our PE teachers taught us 2 dances, the electric slide and the tiger clap, which was a play on the church clap. Also on Fine Arts Night, a huge mural was showcased. The whole student body helped make this mural by coloring in the feathers that we used to create the wings that you can now go and stand in front of to have a picture taken. Another thing that was showcased at Fine Arts Night were pictures that students made on their computers during their library classes.
In art class, 5th grade made abstract paintings and element books. 6th grade made their own traditional baskets using beads for decoration. 7th grade made neurographics and word comics using words like pop and more. 8th grade made pop art self-portraits. Our art club made a collaborative tree mural for our artist statement, the Arts Lift Us. We also set up a face painting booth and a feather painting booth to go along with our wing mural. At the end of the night, families got to choose to take home an art packet. They could choose from origami kit or stained glass monopoly. I want to touch people with my art. I want them to say, he feels deeply, he feels deeply. That's a quote by Vincent Van Gogh. Thank you for listening.
And their sponsor is Miss Reagan Lancaster. She's here tonight with us as well.
Thank you all. Wonderful.
Question for the Beta Club. It's not a volunteer organization, am I understanding? There's got to be some qualifications.
Absolutely,
Is it
yeah.
grades? Is it recommendation of teachers? What does it take to get into your Beta Club?
You have to have a grade average of 90% above in every class to qualify for Beta Club hours. And you also have to be recommended to make sure that you have good conduct and you're not going to disrespect.
You have to do stuff for the community to represent it and help it.
Awesome. Thank you.
Great job.
Great.
Thank you.
You're all welcome to stay, but we'll give you a few moments if you want to leave.
You're going to miss all the fun.
Oh, I love it.
For sponsored clubs.
Sure know how to play the
Okay. Can I get a motion for consideration of meeting agenda, please?
So moved.
Have a second. Can we vote Jennifer, please?
13 seconds.
That ain't mine.
That you, Keith?
Could be.
Mr. Hammond, how do you vote?
Aye. Jeep truck.
All agree.
All right, can I get a motion on approval of meeting minutes, please?
Make a motion, we approve the meeting minutes as reported. Second.
Can we vote them, please?
Voting's open. Mr. Hammond, how do you vote?
Aye.
All approved.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Boyd, announcements.
We'll see whose part it is this week. Just as reminders, and it's all in the agenda, of course, but just to highlight, January 16th, Monday, next Monday is a recognized holiday, Dr. Martin Luther King Day. Schools and offices are closed. We also have our workshop coming up Tuesday night on the 17th. That'll be a board workshop, and also will include conversations around budget for the fiscal year 2024 as we move into the budget process. The week of 22nd through 28th of January is identified in Tennessee and across the nation, I believe, School Board Appreciation Week. So certainly want to take this opportunity to thank the board and the entire week's dedicated for your appreciation of our elected school boards in Washington County and across the state and across the nation. We take on the challenge of supporting and ensuring students have opportunities to learn in a public school setting. March 2nd, we will, based on the final approved list, we will send out invitations and we will formally recognize all teachers that have been granted tenure at the March board meeting, which will include a reception prior to the meeting, and then we will recognize them at the meeting formally on March 2nd. And then as we move in and through the budget process, we have identified a date here that should be corrected or will hopefully be corrected. It says April 24th, but we need that to read April 20th, 2023 for the April workshop, which is on standby. It could be a called meeting to finalize the fiscal year 24 draft one of the general purpose school budget. That does need to be approved and sent to the mayor by May 1st.
It's supposed to be April 20th.
20th, yes.
And it says the 24th.
Yeah, and this document right now says the 24th.
And we had another one showed April 25th.
Yeah.
But the correct date is April 20th.
And then finally, that's all of the announcements tonight.
And I've got two to add, please. Our February meeting was scheduled for the 2nd. We've got a few board members going to be out of town. I'd like to move that to the 7th if everybody's in agreement. And then also our March 28th workshop, we need to move it to March 30th. And Jennifer will be putting this out in BOE and hard copies to everybody on these new dates. And then she's also revised the calendar that she'll also include to finish out the school year.
And that will be posted on our website as well.
So all three are moving to the 25th workshop
Yeah.
in April.
The April, that's our first budget workshop?
No, that's just where the April 20th, the target would be to be at a point where the board can consider draft one that we can prepare and send to the mayor by May 1st. Or finalized. And after announcements, it's just the other part of superintendent's report, just a variety of reports for you. Most importantly, all of those below the We Are Washington County are just normal reports for public record and your awareness. But most importantly, Ms. Gray's going to give us an overview of We Are Washington County.
Thank you.
She's done knocked my leg off.
That's good thing.
Yeah. Make me set up, right?
We can just do something with that now.
I know.
So we have returned back to school after 2 weeks off for Christmas break, and the second semester of the 2022 to 2023 school year is officially underway, and we passed into the new year of 2023, leaving 2022 behind. At Daniel Boone High School, 12 out of the 12 seniors in the medical assisting class passed their certification test to become certified medical assistants. They also became OSHA certified. At Sulphur Springs, the staff and the students joined together and presented an informational PowerPoint on their CT lab to others, primarily showing off their robotics program. And at David Crockett, the wrestling coach Todd Parker was celebrated for his 200th career win against Elizabethton High School as a wrestling coach. He's coached at Crockett for the past 16 years and has a career record of 200 wins to 73 losses. He also holds the record for the David Crockett High School wrestling coach with the most wins. And finally, the Scales Project occurred again this year with students from both Daniel Boone and David Crockett High School attending, allowing them to get a better understanding and see firsthand just how the judicial branch of the government operates.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Very good job.
Yeah. Like a pro.
And your basketball team whooped Science Hill on Friday night.
Yeah.
Lift that up.
Yeah.
Exactly. Back to you, Chair, Mr. Chair. We don't do that. You already done this?
Yeah, I just called out all of
Okay,
the.
okay, I'm sorry.
I do, if I may.
Yes,
Mr. Hale was here. Where'd he go? Did we lose him? Right.
Sitting outside, seeing
Okay. I was just, if you had any questions about the last year's district audit. Mr. Hale, if you can. If not, I'll just go over the audit. We will be providing you, if you want a hard copy. The Comptroller's Office did not provide hard copies as they may have done in the past. They left it up to us if we wanted to print them. If you want a hard copy, we'll be glad to print one. But we will and have provided you with a digital copy of it if you want to read the full county audit. In our audit, we did have some findings, and I was just going to have Mr. Hale just go over those real quickly.
Pull them up here. So so we remember on our school audit, that's where we had no findings. First time maybe we have. So this is for the general fund, federal fund, and the dietary fund. It'll take me just a second to pull those up, but there's actually a paper that will go over a summary of what pages the findings were on.
It's at the end,
Here,
Carol.
point of order, I'm the one, and I apologize, I got us out of order, but it's usually under his financial reports also, so this is top of mind, this audit.
The next one up.
It is under the other because you were asked to accept it. If you just give a quick overview, Brad, and if there's any questions when the item comes up.
Which one, Jennifer, top or bottom?
If we can just move on, just let Brad address the findings. We'll come back to this later under the other items in the sequence.
Okay, and whenever I'm pulling mine up, Mr. Boyd, right now, so I'll be right there. So when you, and you'll have a paper that gives you the page numbers of the findings and the responses. We had to give responses to the state. And okay, I'm almost there. They're on pages 300 and 302, and that audit report, of course, is on here for you to download. Management responses to that is on page 307 to 309. So, first one, it says School Federal Projects Fund had an overdraft on June 30th So what happens at the end of the year, and with federal projects this year, we have all the ESSER money. So we're doing an abnormally large amount of capital projects that normally we don't do. We have $1 million worth in capital in the federal projects fund right now. So we had about $3.5 million run through the federal projects fund in just June, with about $2.4 million of that being ESSER dollars. So you have $1 million worth in capital. How do you balance that? So how you try to balance it is do multiple drawdowns, because with these grants you have to spend the money first and then request the state to reimburse you, and there's a time lapse on that. So what happened was mainly all the capital projects funds, our capital projects going through the ESSER dollars hit in addition to everything else. And the drawdowns from the state just did not hit until after June the 30th. Now, when it says overdrawn, that doesn't mean any checks bounced, no checks bounced. Because the funds are deposited with the trustee's office out of the main account they manage into what we call the sweep accounts for federal projects. So the money was there. Everything got paid. It's just from the accounting perspective, when they balance those books, technically that federal projects account went over temporarily until the state funds got in about a week later. So and that's the way that has been done for decades. It's only been the last few years that the comptroller's auditors has taken issue with this. That's the way it always worked before. Used to, when I first came here, there wasn't even any working capital in the federal projects fund. It was just always done that way. But we're in a new time. So the auditors told me that on the accounting side, I can do something to correct. Number one, we can move more money into the federal projects fund to give more cushion there. That's actually on the budget amendment tonight if you choose to do it. And you can move that money back in a year or two after the ESSER dollars are finished if you want to. So, but there's a way that the auditor said that I can do this now that I didn't know we could do in the past, because there's a 3-day rule. When you do a drawdown on federal projects, you're supposed to incur that expense within 3 days. So they've told me in this case I can book I go ahead and record the expense manually with an accounting adjustment and then book a payable. I can go ahead and draw the money down. The money will come in, let's say in a week, and we have the invoice, then we physically pay that out. That will keep this from happening again. So that's the way we'll do this going forward. So that was a good, a good solution there as well. So that is that one. So the next one, payroll liability accounts, it says not reconciled timely and accurately. What they're referring to is something we've been working on since last year, really, and it was mainly the insurance liability account. So for system health insurance, we pay out about $800,000 a month for system insurance. That's about $9.6 million a year.
Is this right?
So going down to the next page. Here you go. Yeah.
Has that number been up, is that higher than what it's usually been, Brad, at 800,000?
Yeah, it is. I mean, it was about 1.5 years, 2 years ago, it was about 790. It's running about 820 now. So as the insurance continues to go up, and we have roughly a little over 800 employees that take advantage of the health insurance. This is the state health insurance plan. So now out of that, about roughly 20% of that 800,000 is paid by the employees. The other, on average, is paid by the board. So what was happening is the expenses were being recorded in the expense lines, and then on the back end, the system throws that into a couple of liability accounts. And then when we actually write the insurance check out, it comes out of the liability accounts. So expenses were being recorded correctly. The problem was those liability accounts were going negative. Nothing was, again, all checks were going through, so it was all being paid. But on the accounting side, so we've had to do, it's like finding a needle in a haystack. You would think that'd be simple to figure that out, but what we have is, let's say we have about, I'm going to say 50, 60 salary lines throughout the general budget. Then you have salary lines in all these federal projects. We have 25 federal projects we did last year, and most of those had expense lines. So out of each expense line, you have it pulling the expense and throwing it into 2 separate insurance liability accounts, one for the employee portion, one for the board portion, and it should all balance. But there's 800 employees spread out all over the general fund and in several different federal grants. So we had to physically do an audit and track every single all 800 employees, go for the expense side of that, and then follow each employee to each liability account. There's, in the general fund, there's 2 liability accounts, but in the federal projects fund, there's 2 liability accounts for every single federal project you have a salary line out of. So you can see how that 800 gets multiplied a few times there. So what we found is about 40 or 50 employees. It was a group on a certain pay run. We don't know why, Skyward didn't know why, but it was hitting the expense line correctly. And it said on their paycheck it was going to, on our side, we can see the liability accounts that goes into. Well, it said it was all working, looked like it was all working, but when we went to the liability account to find it, that wasn't there. So it seems to be working now with some Skyward updates. We still didn't get an explanation as to why that happened. We're watching it each month. So remember, we do 10-month deductions, so we have to withdraw 12 months worth of premium out of those 10 months. So the premium started back up in September. We've looked at September through December. We're building the account by about $155,000 a month on average. That will get us very close to that $1.6 million we need at the end of June 30th. So we're going to keep watching that. I have notified the auditors. At the end of the year, where we're still trying to figure this out, we didn't have enough in there on June 30th to cover both July and August. So we were still short in August, meaning I've told them we're going to have to do another accounting true-up. So hopefully, if everything else continues to flow through, hopefully they won't get us here next year. But that's been a process there, a long process. And we're about every 3 months, we're continuing to try to audit that and just see if anything gets out of sync. So far, it's looking good. We hope that it continues. But that one's been kind of a thorn in our side, trying to find that. And then the last one was simply where a capital project was done, and we did not. If it's over 500,000, we're supposed to do a retainage account, and we usually all those are done at the county, the capital projects. So with the one this year on the HVAC system, we just didn't know we were supposed to set up a separate account for retainage, and that was just something that we know now. So it's easily corrected. So that was the 3 that we had this year, and hopefully we get this one down to 0 as well. We'd like to keep the schools down at 0. So that's where we are.
For as much money goes through that account, that's amazing. Just great job for your Austin department.
All right, can I get a motion for consideration of consent agenda?
So moved.
Have a second?
Second.
Discussion? Can we vote, Jennifer, please?
Voting's open. All approved.
Okay, then we've got this is the handout I just handed you. Did you get one? I'm sorry. No. A short one.
It's the audit finance.
Yeah, that's what I handed out.
Oh.
Now I got another one handed out here in a second on the budget amendment. I think that's what Brad just went over.
It was. He covered the audit report, and we just asked that you officially take action on it.
Do you have a motion?
So move.
Second?
For the
For audit findings. Do you second it, Mr. Plainer, for
yeah, Vince did.
discussion? Can we vote, Jennifer?
Voting's open.
I'm sorry, I'm out of combobulation.
All approved.
All right, next we got the general fund budget amendment. I'll pass these out, and Mr. Boyd or Mr. Hale, whichever one want to answer any questions on that or any.
Sure.
So the one, I would go down to the next one that says changes. That first document is just the whole amendment, the whole budget with the amendments, but this one document I'm having her pull up is the summary, which you have the summary. I see Mr. Harris has that, so I'll show you a copy. So the other document that's on there is the actual entire budget itself with these changes on it. But these are This lists everything that was changed or updated that needs to be updated on the first budget amendment of the year. We'll, as most of you know, we'll be doing another budget amendment at the end of the year at minimum, and then if we need to do anything before then, we certainly can. But I guess instead of me going through each one, I mean, I'll be happy to do that, but do y'all want to look at that and let me know if there's any questions on any one item on there? If not, I'll be happy to go through them all, whatever you all choose.
Well, what about the vehicle equipment, buying did that deal go through? Did we buy the, we had to let them know
On the
certain
maintenance vehicles and so forth?
Yeah. Did that follow through? Did it?
So
we have placed the order for those, but they have not guaranteed receipt of those vehicles. If we've placed the orders.
What about the first one we ordered with the vans? Back, nothing on it yet?
Yeah. We're still just waiting for them to confirm that those vehicles will be available to us.
Sometime this year, I hope.
Hopefully sometime this year, yes, sir.
Purchase orders are out, so just once we...
Yeah, based on approval, we, purchase order issue, we made the order. The communication we've gotten back is thank you for the order, but there's no guarantee you're going to get this.
And the Lewis Group we've paid them $160,000 so far?
You as a board had previously approved the Lewis Group, so but that was after the budget was done last year, so this is fixing that line.
Total amount to be paid, we have not paid that amount to them based
Right.
on their invoices.
I'm thinking it's a little over 100 is what we paid right now, but I'd have to double check that.
On the furniture and IT infrastructure at Jonesborough Elementary, it's $1.5 million. The additional there, the 1.871, what happens with the difference?
It goes into the fund balance unless you, as a board, allocate it. 1.5 is what you have approved so far, so certainly it is up to the board if y'all want to increase that. But, unless you do reallocate that, it will go into the fund balance.
And the credit 1.871750 was the sale of the school, correct?
It still has to come in as revenue, so that particular, it's 44540 is the revenue line that was deposited into. It's 141R actually for general fund. But
And the furniture will be pulled out of that, I can take it.
yes, when that is spent, that 76100-707, that is a capital outlay category that we haven't used in many years here. So I've reactivated that with since this is fitting.
Have we ordered furniture yet, or do you know?
Well, we've gone through the process of building the order, yes.
Okay.
We have not finalized the order.
I'm hoping to do a presentation at the workshop next week on the furniture and give you an idea of where we're at with the total cost, trying to outfit all those classrooms and cafeteria, library, and all that.
And I'm sure that'd have to be ordered fairly early to receive in time to get school open, correct?
Yeah, I think no later than probably after the March board meeting, we would have to place an order to guarantee it would be here on time.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
I just had a question back to the vehicles. Given the way we're having to buy them and could be backlogged, do we have to pay for those up front or just a deposit?
We don't pay anything up front, no deposit up front. It's only when the vehicles arrive and transportation gives accounting the go-ahead, yes, these vehicles are here, they're in proper working order, then in accounting we cut the check.
Okay. I just didn't know if they make a deposit.
Which one?
We just wouldn't, I'm sorry.
No, you're good. Go ahead.
We just wouldn't make an order unless the board authorized it and we assigned a purchase order.
This may have been before my time. The public's donation, what's that?
For the small grant that someone applied for, I'm sure Tawana had a part in that. Sometimes I've had a few cases where teachers out in the schools, especially the high schools, has applied and we got a check. Sometimes we don't get told it's coming, so we have to figure out what that is.
So that's to us?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it's to the board, well, I shouldn't say for the board, but it was to the system.
Right.
Then the 71-100-499 line is where the expenses for that money would come out.
Okay.
So they come in the revenue line, go out the expense line. Now, when it's a donation, like that or a grant, there's specific guidelines for what we have to spend.
Gotcha.
on.
Right.
And that's what auditors will check and share on the grants, to make sure we utilize the funds according to the grant guidelines.
And if you could just let me know what the safety equipment was that we were, with this money?
So that was equipment for SROs.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, gotcha. Thank you.
Is that the vest?
Is,
The shield?
The
Shield.
shield, I mean? Ballistic shield.
That's
has
all I got.
anything changed in the Pepsi contract?
When it was renewed about a year ago, it's good for 5 years.
That's what I thought.
As far as the funds that we receive out of it, it looked the same that I saw.
See, then I'm aware.
I will say on the 1.5 million on the furniture, so whatever we don't spend this year, that'll automatically go forward next year unless you as a board, increase that or whatever you decide. So like Whitney had pointed out, there's another 371,000 there that'll go into the fund balance unless you as a board allocate it elsewhere.
Any more questions?
Could you explain lien fraud compensation analysis?
Yes, ma'am. That is, we had discussed in last year's conversations, doing a salary study. This is an amount that I can authorize. We'll be bringing to the board at next Tuesday's meeting an amount that would do all positions. This is the key positions we talked about incorporating in this year's budget, but I think it would be important to look at what it would cost to do the full study, but this is the priorities, and it's under 10,000, so it's within my authority.
Right, but I needed my.
It's a study, what they'll do is they will do a study of salary scales regionally compared to our neighbors, then they'll benchmark across the state, and then they'll benchmark across the nation and show where our salaries fall in the gaps or whatever.
Okay, thanks.
Anything else? Do we have a motion to accept the amendment?
So moved.
We have a second?
Second.
Discussion? Jennifer, can we vote?
Voting's open.
Thank you, Brad.
Thanks, sir.
All approved.
Okay, and the only other thing we have left is approval of 2 overnight field trips. One for David Crockett for concert performance assessment and rewards trip, March 8th through the 9th, in Maryville and Gatlinburg. And then David Crockett High School Band All East Senior Clinic in Gatlinburg, February 2nd through the 4th.
Make a motion, we approve both overnight field trips.
Second.
Discussion? All right, can we vote, Jennifer?
Voting's open. All approved.
Okay, that's all we've got. Well, you'll be updated on the changes of meeting dates. And then our next scheduled meeting, I think, is January 17th, a week from tonight, for our workshop and retreat.
Have we, well, I got a question. Have we got any idea when we're going to meet for budget? I mean, are you going to present a budget to us?
In March. I mean, the goal will be at the April board meeting, the 1st of April.
But we're not going to have a budget workshop then?
You can. I mean, combine those.
What I'm wondering is, what are we going to do about raises? Are we giving the other staff raises?
That's
I mean,
what we should be talking about Tuesday night.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
That's part of the retreat.
I mean, that would really help us and the team as we're trying to put that together. Those would be the priorities of the board as we receive other things from like school level priorities, and that'll be very helpful Tuesday night.
Okay. Yeah, Jennifer's put a little calendar together of everything we've approved.
That's what you all approved tonight, Mr. Boyd.
Yeah,
there's anything else?
Yeah, the one change is the April 20th date instead of the 24th. But we just trying to march through the timeline. Schools have received their budget worksheets. They will begin meeting with their teams. Tuesday is a workshop that should focus on budget priorities for the board that will help you all, as Mr. Turbin said, key raises need to be incorporated, and that's something we'll do as far as we'll work up the cost and those things to bring back to the board. during the budget process. We'll work through February to have school budget conferences that will flow up to district department conferences that will then help Brad and I kind of solidify the budget document. And then in March, you all will see a preliminary draft, and then in April, you'll see a more developed draft, maybe the final draft if it's possible. If there's a meeting that needs to be called, the chair and board members certainly see a need to call a meeting in between any of those times, we absolutely will do that.
Are there any talk with the money coming from state?
Okay, so we are still waiting on the guidance that we expect and we're told to expect from the State Department. No district has received that. So moving forward, we have last spring's estimate of the new TISA funding formula. That's what we will use somewhat as a guide. But we also use the same calendar. So in previous years, we would get BEP estimates, you know, in the spring, and we would get them each month after that. So we're going to somewhat expect that cadence. But we're going to plan and look at what was the estimate was last spring based on that document, and use that as our main document as far as what we should expect for funding. But we're still waiting on the state for written guidance and an updated estimate on the new funding formula. So not shooting completely in the dark, but we don't have any final information from the Department of Education at this point.
Anything else?
Thank you for being with us tonight.
Yes, thank
Yeah,
you.
good job.
Thank you.
Great information.
Meeting adjourned.
Excited about graduation.